am just popping into you for a quick little live tonight because, or today, it's today. In response to our Snowmageddon, I thought I would come in today and show you the new snow effects. Now it's not really new. Well, it's new to me. But I do need a little needle. Do you have a needle anywhere close by? I might just end up pausing. If you look in my mug over there, there's a plastic container, little tiny plastic container that has a pokey tool in it, and it has a needle in it. So if she doesn't find it, but I'm gonna talk to you for a minute and tell you a little bit about it first. So this is a fun little product, and you can see the texture. Yeah, right there. Do you see that? So this is actually done on a green piece of paper. Yes, a light green piece of paper. And you can see I put the snow effects all over it to make it look like snow and some texture. And you can even add, it doesn't have glitter, but you can add some glitter to it if you really wanted it to pop with some glitter. So that's one of my little things I wanted to show you. Another, I just wanted to try it to see what it would look like on water. And I'm not quite as impressed with this. And part of it, though, is because I do believe that, well, I do know, don't believe, this was one of those early things where Wish, before Temu became a thing, Wish was a thing. And so this was a dye that I had gotten with ocean waves. And it just, as you can see, it wasn't the quality. So it just didn't cut through, even though I like cut it like 4 times. But I wanted to try it on the waves. And part of it, and it's okay. I don't hate it, but I don't know if I would like it better if the dye was better and they popped out the way they were supposed to. But then just for playing, I thought I would make this to be like some ocean waves. So I tore the paper and I just sponged and put that around the edge. And so that's kind of a cute one too. And oh, one more thing that I did not get was a sponge. Crap. Oh, I have this. I will use this right here. I'll use this as my sponge. So I'm just going to show you a couple of little techniques of things that I'm going to do with this today. One of them, the first one is just these little houses. And this is just going to show you some really basic, quick stuff. Now, I asked Miss Tina to get me a needle because just like with anything, if you don't clear that nozzle, it's going to get clogged. And I learned the hard way. If it does get clogged, if you leave it on open for too long, if it does get clogged, I learned that with this one. When you squeeze it really hard, instead of forcing it through like you would think, what it does is it forces this whole top off. And so I end up with quite the blob popping out. I'm going to sit down, so hopefully I'm still in frame. And I am going to go on and get my needle out because I can feel, I haven't used this one in about 2 weeks, so I can feel that it's a little tight in there. So I think most of us crafters keep a needle for just this instance. So hey, if you're watching, go on and comment, tell me hello, let me know how you're doing. All right, am I going to have pliers too to get it back out? All right, so there we go. I'm just going to put a little bit on this just to make sure that that nozzle is clear. Yep, see, there it went. You gotta love YouTube Live, right? Squeezed it too hard. So there is my lesson. If you end up getting some of this from me, there is a lesson. Do not squeeze it too hard. But it's thick enough that you can scrape it up pretty easily and put it back. See, now this is where it would be smart if I was a person who edited videos, but what you're going to see in my craft channel is raw. So if I make a mistake, guess what? You're going to see it because I am not an editor. I am a crafter. All right, so let's see how much more of this I can get picked up. Actually, this might be kind of fun on this base page. I did pull out this base page anyway to do something kind of cool with it. And while this is off, you could take this and wash it, but since I am live, I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to push this back through. On both sides. Yeah, this does need to be washed. I can feel, because it's got, once it dries, it's kind of a little bit of a gritty texture. All right, so let's try again. That's coming out better. Can you see the difference in how much better that's coming out? It just squeezes right out when you've got your nozzle clear the way it's supposed to be. All right, so fingers are a little, guess what I have close. All right, if you see me hollering later, because what I have right now is disinfecting wipes. So we're just gonna wipe the little fingers off with some disinfecting wipes. Oh, here comes Tina saving me with some baby wipes. Let's see, now I'm disinfected. Oh, just one is good. Thank you so much. Well, actually, let's see. No, we're gonna leave that there. Who knows what that's gonna turn out to be. All right, so I'm gonna go on and flip this over to work off of the back to see if you can see it a little bit better. Let's see, where am I at? Am I centered? All right, so I'm just gonna show you a couple little things to do with this. This has a few techniques. So first of all, I'm just gonna draw a little line around the edge to signify my snowfall, just on my little hill. Wait, am I still in focus? I'm sorry. See, I move everything down closer to me. All right, and then I'm going to trace the roofs and then just kind of color in a little bit to give myself that look of snow-topped roofing. Now this is a perfect little size to go on a card. So if you wanted to wish someone a happy snow day, stay warm, well wishes, a winter birthday, Christmas cards. So I'm just kind of tapping that and like almost coloring it in and dotting just to give you a little bit of texture. And then I'm going to put a little bit, this is a new thing, I haven't tried this technique yet, so I don't know what it's going to do, but you know what, we're going to give it a shot. So I'll put a little bit on my wipe just because I had it there, and I'm just going to kind of pounce that on. That's not bad. You do have to be careful though. This probably is something I should have done before I put that line on there, because as far as that pouncing goes, I'm going to be messing up that line a little bit. It does not take too long to dry, so my line actually did dry pretty well. And again, I just die cut this in any old little color, so you know, you can put that in a glittery color or anything else that you might want to do. But let's see, let me get in frame. So that's just a cute little border, and that snow gives us a fun texture. So next I have cut out 3 layers, and I'm glad Tina did save me, because I need to cut out this is a Spellbinders die cut from last season. And so what I'm doing, it's got a layer behind, a layer on top. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and use some adhesive and get that down. It also did come with extra layers that went on top too, but you know what? We are just doing this right here. All right, then I'm just going to take my little scissors and cut off this little guy. And then I'm going to use another layer on the back that's wood grain to give us our little bottom of the tree. So I don't love the alignment of that, so it's good that I have my my Tombow adhesive, because I can just pull that right back up easily enough. All right, so here's what we're going to do. I am going to go ahead and first I'm going to, can you see it pretty well there? Let me see if I'm in frame. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and just put it stronger along the outside edges. So I'm just going to squirt some, dabbing and squirting, just get it all around those edges of the tree, just like if you were going into the woods and you see your snow-capped trees, you know, that snow kind of hangs on those edges a little bit more. So I'm not taking a lot of care yet with it. I'm just dabbing it around. And then I'm going to take my little edger. I'm going to pick this up and just kind of edge that snow into and out, so that we're softening that little line a bit. I'm sorry if I keep going off the edges. Okay, so now that I've done that, I'm just going to gently, now this is where the other sponge dauber would come in better because of this harder line. I don't want to give it a harder line. So I'm going to take a little bit more. Don't let me forget to put that cap on. And I'm being ever so gentle because my little dauber has this line, because I didn't bring the sponge over. I'm just being ever so careful to just gently, gently, so I don't leave lines. Whereas when you have your regular sponge that you cut into like little pie shapes, it works a little bit better because you don't have a hard line. All right, so now that I've got just a little bit of ink, and I can go a little bit more aggressive as it started to dry on this. So now I've got a little bit more ink on it. Now what I'm going to do is give myself little lines across the tops. Am I close enough? I'm going to do little lines right across the tops of those branches. So it looks like that snow is just sitting on the tops of all of those little branches. And I already packed it up, but I made this cute little house. It was a wooden house, and I made this cute little wooden house, and it had, you know, like the snowy paper. And we had this all over the house to make it look like the snow was actually on the house. It was really, really sweet. So this is really great for all of your little projects. You know, it would be good, since I'm using two hands sometimes, to get some of this out. It is thicker. It's not like a liquid glue. I was telling, we used this as a make and take earlier in the month. This is a thicker product. It is not like a liquid glue, so it does take a little more hand strength to get that pushed out. So this would be a good opportunity to use your sticky mat. You know, the sticky mats that come in your, Altenew has them. Actually, a lot of people now have them. I have several in stock here, but they just kind of have that little bit of a stick to them. So when you put your paper down or your project down, it stays, so it keeps your stencils down, all of that good stuff. So that would have been smart for me to have right here, because it would have held that tree nice and still while I was using both hands. But I am, and let me go on, and where's my needle? I'm going to use my needle one more time and clear this out before I put it away. I'm just making a big old mess here. All right, I'll have to find that needle in a moment. All right, so I'm going to pick this up closer and let you see how pretty that little tree looks. Doesn't that just look, can you see that on your card? On your wintry card? I just love that. Now, you know, you can be a little more generous with it, or I'm pretty generous with it, or you can go a little bit lighter. On our play day that we had, a lot of people did a lot of different fun things with it. Some people didn't go as aggressive with me, so it looked more like our snow that we just had, and some people went pretty aggressive like I do. So the last thing I'm going to do, again, I've already showed you the snowflake once it's all dry, just that pretty texture, and that just came from tap, 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 tap. I just tapped it to get a little bit of lift instead of just drawing. Okay, and the last thing I'm going to do, just because when I did this, I wanted it to look like the ocean waves, but I really kind of felt mountainy from it. So we're going to make some mountains. So being from Virginia, we have the Blue Ridge Mountain. So I've got like a gray blue and a greenish, a more greenish. So I'm just going to tear some paper to make some mountains. So I'm just going to be very random about this. And so I'm just going to tear. And then I'm going to do a second layer. We're going to do some higher peaks and valleys. And I'm going to kind of form those together. You can see what I've done there. Okay, so for this thing, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put a fair amount on this. And I'm just, you know, I'm not being overly cautious with it, because I'm going to sponge it down to make it look like the snow is coming all the way down the mountain. So I just put just a good line of that on there, if you can see. And then I'm going to take that same sponge and I'm just going to drag that down. And keep dragging and pulling until it's as much as you want. I'm feeling this might be, I don't have any pictures when we went on Everest at Disney, but this makes me feel like Everest at Disney, right? Doesn't that kind of remind you of that ride for some reason? So I'm just going to keep dragging down until I'm happy with it. All right, and then I'm going to do the same thing with our second one, with our light green. And I'm not going across the whole paper with it right now just because it's wasteful, and I'm not going to use the whole paper. I want this to be kind of a card base. So again, just squeeze that out. And just sponging down. Now, if you wanted to pull down more and it's not pulling down enough for you, just add a little bit more. You can always add a little bit more. And again, it does dry pretty quick. So when you're done with these sponges, you want to get them in the water. Either have a water bucket with you. I know people who just have water right there with them at all times. I do want just a little bit thicker. Is this my new one? Oh no, that's the old one. A little bit thicker right there. And a little bit thicker right there. I want the snow to look pretty thick. Whoop. Rolling, rolling, rolling. And even you can see I kind of dabbed it back on to give it a really thick texture at the tops. Ooh, I like that on those peaks to give it that thick texture. That kind of happened by accident. Figure out which one is which. I'm going to put a little bit more on the top of this one too, so it really looks like I have a lot of that texture up there. That really thick snow when you're looking out in the distance in those movies. So instead of dragging as much, I'm kind of tapping it off. Oh yeah, I like that. All right, let me do the same for this one. So we're just going to tap, tap, tap to give you that really, you know, that look of lots of snow sitting up on that mountaintop. All right, so now, because I don't want to flip that over to glue it, I'm just going to put some adhesive on this piece. And I'm going to frame that where I like it. And I think I like it about right there. All right, so now I have begun my mountain peaks. It's going to make a perfect card. That is already pretty dry, so I'm going to go in and cut this. Go and cut that there. It's a little crooked. Let's get that straightened up. And I think my base is about still crooked. All right, that's better. And so let's see what my base was. My base wasn't quite 6 inches, but oh, a beautiful blue on the background of this would be beautiful too, because of our blue sky, right? So we need a lighter blue to be our base for that. You can imagine Like that's the back. I'm just showing you for imagination purposes. So, yep. I love it, even though it's a little bit messy and it's a little bit of maintenance because you do, like I said, need to put that lid back on it. You need to keep your needle handy. As you see from what I did, that's my third time doing that because, well, the first time I was actually doing a live class. I was so embarrassed. I was taking a class. I shouldn't say I was taking the class, and I did it right in the middle of class. So anyway, you think I would have learned my lesson by then, but no, I just want to be strong and force it through. You know what? While I have this paper here, let's do it. Why not? So I have this Mente Merry Little Christmas, and you can see it already has snowflakes on it, and I have that going on right there, but you know, it's in kind of in the middle, so that's okay. I'm going to go ahead, again, playing. I haven't done this yet, so it's you and me, babe. We're going to try it out. You can see where the little snowflakes are and the little where all the little snowflakes, some of them look like berries, some of them look like snowflakes, but I'm just going to put little dabs of this on there. And really quickly, I'm going to grab some glitter. So I'll be right back. We all have that glitter in our stash, so that's kind of got that little bit of an opalescent glitter look to it. So we're just going to see what it does. Why not, right? It might be a big fail, but who will know if we don't try it? So I'm going to start over here. And I'm just going to do little dots where these snowflakes are already at. Now, because this does dry pretty quickly, I am also going to stop and put the glitter on it pretty quickly. Okay, so I think that's enough for now. Lid, 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 lid. I need a little note up on the door that says lid. Don't forget your lid. Come on. So let's glitter, glitter, glitter. This isn't quite in what the directions say, but we're going to try it, right? If it doesn't work, glitter's cheap, right? All right, so let's put a little bit around our little truck. I think it'll really show up well around that red truck. Just making my little snowflakes. Just giving our project a little bit of texture. I don't know about you guys, but I don't flat scrapbook. So I like there to be a little bit of texture in things. So we're going to pour some more. All right, let's just do a few more. Well, over here by our little deer, because this scene I think would make a beautiful card just by itself. You've got this little scene and you cut it apart and put a sentiment on it, and you don't even need to do anything else with it. Oh, that cap doesn't work. Am I still in frame? I hope so. Whoop. All right, so now that I've got all the glitter poured out, what I'm going to do is shake it about. Now I'm going to bring my glitter to the other side. I've already gotten it all over my table, so I'll have to get my little handy dandy vacuum and whatnot out anyway. So I'm not being uber careful. But I don't know if you can see that, but it is really pretty in person. I don't know if you can see the glitter. But that really did make this page pop. What do you think? Can you see my snowballs?
Very nice. Awesome. Pretty.
So yeah, you can see what the snow looks like up here. You see the little white dots? So like all those little white dots are the snowballs or the snowflakes. And then I transformed them into that. So that's it for me. I've got just a couple of things. And these little guys, they're only $4.75. So like it's just a good thing to have in your stash, I think. Again, you'll also want a needle. You never know when you want to have some snow somewhere, especially all this beautiful snow that we've gotten, and we're probably getting a little bit more. Okay, so I am, oh my gosh, 25 minutes in. I can't believe it's taken me this long. So once again, there's I'll have to show you the card once I'm done. I love that. Ski pages. Yes, I like that a lot. Okay. All right, I'm out of here. Y'all have a wonderful day, and we'll see you later.